saying is, if you're in your 20s and you're in this room, and you're a dude, don't brag about doing it all night long. Because when older people like us hear that, we're like, that's stupid. Right? Because to us, if it takes you all night long to please a person, you don't know what the hell you're doing. I'm married, we don't do it all night long, okay? Me and my wife got it down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We never miss a TV show, you know what I mean? We'll be like, commercial break.
Oh man, I'm exhausted. I literally didn't know what I was talking about on stage. I was just kind of
you can't do it for food all the time or for $10. I got chased out of for $7 one day.
Yeah.
They're like, we owe you $7. I was like, all right, but it is what it is. You know, I need stage time, and they provide the stage time. So, but like I do know, like in Vegas where I moved, like nobody does a spot for under $100. And I don't care if you're up there for 5 minutes or 20, 30 minutes, it's gonna be more than $100.
It was funny because that was one of the first things, like I knew nothing about pay when it came to comedy, like no idea. But I've been doing radio forever, so you know, we would get endorsement fees or a remote fee or whatever, and it pays nice. And so the first time that I did a comedy show, I was just doing it to do it. And the guy comes up and says, hey man, thanks for doing it tonight. He gave me $25.
Yeah.
And I felt so weird, like I wanted to give it back to him.
Probably you're robbing him.
Yeah, I just didn't understand. I was just like, $25. It felt so weird. I feel like everyone's getting shortchanged. And then I started doing other shows, and I'm seeing like, bro, $40 here, $50 here, $75 here. And I was like, I guess that's the norm. But I guess it makes sense. Like you're only depending on how long you do, 5 minutes here, whatever. I mean, I guess it justifies, but it's just in my head, like from radio, you go do a remote for an hour, you got paid $250 or something like $300, and I was like,
Well, one thing that I do love about Rogan opening his club, and I've heard this from other comedians I know, it's the first place that opened up where now, if you're in, you don't have to worry about rent every month because you get enough spots where you can pay your rent, and he pays great. You know, so a lot of comedians that struggled, that had to go mic to mic to mic just to make rent, it's no problem. Once you're into that club and in their rotation.
You get 6-8 spots a week
at Rogan's Club, you're good.
You can be a comic.
Yeah.
You can be a comic.
In San Diego, I did comedy there for my first 6 years. The number of people that I knew that went from like needing a job to not needing a job was like 3, maybe 4 people. In Austin, in 5 years, it's like 20 plus.
Because plus Rogan moving in there and paying comics right, it puts pressure on the other venues to pay more too.
Right. And they have.
And they have to.
Oh shit, Steve! He said, I told you, I'm gonna take good care of you. And my point with this entire conversation is I'm not gay. But I can get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, man. Look, can we start the show? You guys ready? Listen, man, my Instagram is @CinoGoChino. Please tap in. This next guy tours the country. He's a beast. Clap it up and let him hear you now. Andrew Tall!
Seatbelt signs on. Do you think that they still did the regular announcements after they landed?
Oh, the camera.
Oh, sorry.
We were talking about
Everybody's just upside down.
I think.
Welcome to Canada.
How's the ending of that last show go?
That's
how wife comes. Wife comes, rips the towel off.
Wife comes, rips the towels off, rips the towel off. She's like, what the f-? I'm like, what? I'm just enjoying the massage. She said, no, what the f-? You just moan for a man.
Okay.
I said, look, you wanted to come here, this is our thing, it's all good. Happy feet or I might cheat. And the massage therapist stands up.
He should turn around. Right then, the massage therapist turns around. He turns around. Now we're looking at him. He goes, remember what is that right?
Remember the TikTok I sent you.
Remember the TikTok I sent you. Steve?
And then that's it.
Yeah, I don't think you need anything else.
Because once you go past that, you lose all the momentum. Like your last line is it makes it die off.
Okay.
So I think if there's the realization of Steve,
Like, oh, it was Steve.
Steve.
So
and
I
then-
just have to hit hard with
because,
that Steve.
But yeah,
like-
because people will get it. Like if you notice when you say Steve the first time, people get it.
Yeah.
But then you keep going.
Keep going.
And then they're like,
know,
oh, but they already got the joke.
'Cause
You
they already-
You already said the joke.
And,
Okay.
and you don't mind. You don't need to. You don't mind doing an act out, which is great. So
Yeah.
if you, she comes up, she takes the towel off, she throws it on the floor. Right there, massage therapist. He's like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. He picks the towel up, turns around, he starts folding it. So now he's already turned around. What the fuck was that? You do your whole bar, feet, cheek, whatever. When he turns around, he can deliver his. Remember the TikTok I sent you? Hit him with Steve.
Because when you said
that'll
when you said up there, when you
pop.
said remember the TikTok, everybody goes, whoa. So they're already thinking it's Steve. And then
Yeah,
you
they
just
know.
go Steve, and then boom, you get a laugh.
And that's it.
I
Okay.
think so. We'll try it the next
Yeah,
show.
I'll try next show.
And you don't have to go.
I was always interested in comedy first. Like, The Tonight Show was my shit. And so my grandma would let me stay up late to watch just the monologue. So that was all I got. And so that was always my thing. And then just randomly, I mean, that's like one of my youngest memories is watching that. So I always found it interesting, but just never thought I would do it. Radio just kind of happened. I was interning when I was 13. Basically a radio station set up outside of my junior high. And they set up in the spot where my grandma would pick me up every day. And so I didn't know where she was, so I just stood there at their tent for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that she was right next to it. I ended up staying there for like half an hour. And I guess she saw that I was into it. And so we started listening to that radio station, and every time they were gonna be somewhere, she was like, well, let's just pop in and see what they're doing. And so we did that every weekend for a few.
started following a radio station.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
we started doing that for a few months, and they were basically like, you're gonna be here all the time, you're gonna help us out. So they had me folding t-shirts and blowing up balloons and
that's cool.
doing bumper stickers and shit.
How old were you? 16?
13.
13.
And so I
Wow.
did that for 3 years. I turned 16 and they offered me a job. And that was when I first started the radio. I was doing the night show from 7 to midnight. So I would go to school from 8 to 3, go home, do homework, and then go do the radio show from 7 to midnight.
And now I'm standing up in this row case, so I'm standing up, and now I just pull them down, and then I'm just standing there, right? And I don't know what to do with my hands, so I just kind of I just put my hands. You don't know what to do, okay? You don't know what to do, so I just put my hands right here, and this dude, I'm standing in the middle of this room, just pants to the floor, nothing, right? And then my man, he just walks off. He just walks away, and this is when he started putting on gloves. I go, you couldn't have put on gloves first?
I don't want to say you're more known as an actor, but you've done like some big things in acting.
Yeah.
But you always originated from comedy, right?
Yep.
How'd that work out? Like, how'd that start?
I mean, we were talking about last night, but I mean, I started off at like 12 years old doing like this PBS public access kids show. Like the sketch show on Saturday mornings. Got in the theater, did a little, I mean, I probably did stand up 2 or 3 times in high school. Knew a bunch of comics. My senior year, hosted a bunch of shows, did some plays in college. Was more on the acting train after college.
Okay.
And then when I wanted to perform but didn't have the access to because I had a day job, the only thing I couldn't do was comedy because like I still need to perform, but I never thought about doing stand-up. But once again, like you said, I always loved it. But what can I do on my own schedule?
Yeah.
Versus like going to rehearsals and doing a play and my company getting upset with me that I'm taking this kind of time out. I got to go out of town for a conference.
Yeah.
But they need me on a Saturday for this production. So stand-up was like, oh, I can choose it. And then, long story short, I mean, we say fall in love, but you get addicted.
It's addicting.
You get addicted to it. And I mean, anytime, I could be on vacation and you're like, if I find a stage, I'm getting up.
100%.
If I'm going longer than 4 days, even if I just go watch it,
Yeah.
if I just go see somebody else's show, I'm like, I check to see who's in town. If I got to go to a family event and I can't get out enough, I'm like, Yo's in town. I got to get to the Funny Bone just to go see him real quick. And it's one of those things, man. You have to do it.
Yeah.
You successfully diffused that situation. I had no idea you could do that. Just get your way to safety. That's incredible. I'm gonna have to try that out. If anybody ever pulls out a gun on me, I'm just gonna start sucking on it. Like, what are you gonna do with this bad boy? Get the hell away from me.
So Andrew, you're the most unsuccessful person at this show.
Tell me more, Michael.
Yeah, I've gotten lots of participation trophies in my day.
No, but how'd you get into comedy though, for real?
Well, in high school I always like kind of had stories and stuff. I was always like the.
Wait, how old are you?
31.
31.
You're like, aren't you still in high school?
No, we never thought that.
And then now the hair's getting whiter. Yeah. But I always like had like fun stories. It was like a bit of a class clown and goofball and stuff. And then I had a buddy ask me, "Hey, are you depressed?" And I was like, finally. I was like a fat emo kid in high school, and I was like, finally, I've been like crying in silence or whatever, you know. I was like, how could you tell? And he goes, well, I watched a thing on TV that said most comedians are depressed, and then that's when I put like the two things together. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I've been kind of like telling stories and jokes to my friends. I could do that for strangers, and then that was really helpful for me. I was like very socially awkward, didn't know how to talk to people. That this was like a way to get experience, just like socializing and like being in groups.
So you were on Kill Tony. Mm-hmm. You did the minute set. Walk us through that. How was that? From where when they called your name to when you got on stage.
I mean, when they called my name, I didn't believe it. My first thought was like, no way.
Yeah.
Because I've been signing up for like 3.5 years and didn't get on. I was like getting known in the hangout areas, like being the guy that just hasn't been on it forever.
Explain the hangout area real quick. Yeah.
So right next to the mothership is a bar called Shakespeare's.
Yeah.
And so the 200 to 300 comics every Monday that sign up for Kill Tony, they all hang out there, and then that's where they call people's names, and then they run us over to the mothership.
So before, like when they call your name, how many minutes goes by before you're actually on stage?
It depends on who's before you. If they have a long interview, you could be standing back there for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
I was back there for maybe like 10 minutes before I got on.
So they'll call your name and immediately you walk over.
Immediately you walk over, yeah, and then they, take all your stuff, and then you go on to the
take all your what stuff?
Like phones, just like your stuff in your pockets.
Yeah, right, everything. They just take everything.
Yeah, they rob you blind, and then.
Oh yeah, right. You got to pay them to be on the show. So now you're backstage.
Yeah.
Behind the stage, and you're saying, what's your nervous level? What's going on?
Oh, it's the most nervous I've been in a long time. Because I was like freaking out. I was like, okay, just stick to the minute. I was gonna have a bit about the movie Oppenheimer, and then the guy before me, Jack Shaw, his whole thing is about being Jewish, and I was like, oh no, like is the subject matter gonna just be stomped on already by the time I get out there? I'm like, okay, well don't change it up, because if I change it and it goes bad, I'm gonna hate myself.
Yes, 100%.
For changing the thing. So I did it. It went well, but during the interview, I had to put the mic back in the stand because I felt like my right leg just shaking.
So you were that nervous?
Oh man, I was like, yeah, because like this did, and my guests were Mark Norman, Shane Gillis, Ari Shaffir, and I'm like
legends in the game right now.
Yeah.
That's I mean, that's wild.
They asked me like how comedy was going, and I don't like glazing myself. And I was like, well, I don't want to mention that I was like headlining the Red Room at Hyenas, because by the time the episode comes out, that's going to be done. And I also don't want to be like, oh, I opened for this person. So I was just like, I do shows.
No, man, it's time to name drop right now.
Yeah.
It's time to name drop. I would have name dropped on everybody.
But I watch that show. I often feel that you have to to go viral, you got to make the most ridiculous story. And that's how Tony keeps you on, because they want to prod that story. So it's kind of like,
it's not about funny, it's about interesting.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah.
Well, even like any good TV show, it's all about character building too, right? Who is this person? Who is the character? What are they? What makes you different from this person? Why would people want to see you again versus just anyone else?
Well, when you go on, I've been on Kill Tony, and I saw on Kill Tony. I was just literally, I felt like I was watching the show on the stage.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I'm not that type of dude. Like,
same.
I'm not mean. I'm not gonna be sarcastic. And literally, just to sit next to Tony and see how brilliant, how fast he is in the moment.
Yeah.
I see him write it down. Like literally, I was more like a viewer that was just sitting on stage rather than being in the show.